Welcome to my channel. My name's Josh, and today I want to talk about phishing. Not the fun kind though, the bad kind. The first thing I want to clarify in this video is that phishing is not always a hack. In some cases, it is considered hacking, assuming that it's involuntary. That could include a prompt for something that's a download request on your computer, a keylogger, or even spyware. However, in most cases, phishing is not considered a hack, but instead it's considered a social engineering tactic. I'd like to quickly explain the essentials of what a phishing attack actually is. In most cases, phishing happens through one of three attack nodes. The first, and probably the most common, is criminals sending out emails with malicious links prompting users to log into a fake portal that appears to be something they trust, such as a Facebook or Amazon login page. When the user enters their username and password, they receive a 404 error in most cases, only to realize the page never went anywhere. However, their private credentials are now in the hands of a hacker looking to use that information nefariously or against them. This is also part of the reason why it's so important to use unique passwords for every website you log into. The next common attack node is through a phone call. Often criminals will call you pretending to be an insurance agent, a salesperson, a bank attendant, or in many cases, even the IRS. They will usually use fear to intimidate you into giving them personal information that they can later use to hack into your accounts with. Another up-and-coming technique for hackers has become text messages. People are particularly vulnerable through text because so many sites require phone authentication today. At this point, we have become used to clicking links through our phone while not knowing the true source of the text. To make matters worse, sources of where a text message came from are usually hidden or masked, even when coming from legitimate sites. It's important to never click on any link in a text message unless you explicitly requested phone authentication at that very moment. Many new scams are being done through text messages, so be aware. In some cases, links will contain adware, malware, spyware, or even ransomware on the other side. One type of attack I've seen recently has been through LinkedIn messages. Somebody messages you asking to review their resume or their work, or possibly sends you a link claiming it leads to their portfolio. Often these are incredibly clever tactics designed to deceive you. Trust no one. Even people you know could have been hacked and are now sending out malicious attacks to all their friends. Just to give you an idea of how bad phishing actually can be, I'm going to tell you a story of a friend of mine who lives in Russia. Recently, she got a phone call. She answered the phone, and there was other Russian men on the phone claiming to be officials from her bank. And they warned her, they said, look, your account has been hacked. Somebody's trying to hack into your bank and steal all your money. And she was afraid. And when people are afraid, they panic. And when people panic, they make bad decisions. Because when we assess something based on logic, it's very different than when we assess it based on emotions. And she reacted emotionally like probably many people would do. So unfortunately, she gave them her password and they said, hey, give us all your information so we can lock your account down. We need to make sure it's you. And she believed them. She didn't know. She just thought they were her bank calling. They sounded official. They sounded like nice people that were trying to genuinely help her. But they used fear to control and manipulate her. And it turns out they actually stole all of her money in her bank account and all of her savings. My friend in Russia let her guard down because she had trust in people. And the thing about people that commit phishing attacks is they will basically prey on easy people's trust. Just a few days ago, I actually got a call myself, and somebody on the other end said, hey, we want to do a quick survey. I said, okay, sure, what is this for? And they said it's for IHG hotels. And it is true that I had actually stayed at an IHG hotel. So, I said, sure, okay, fine, I'll do the survey. They asked me maybe 3 or 4 questions. It wasn't really a very big deal. It was very simple. And they said, because you did the survey with us, we're going to give you a really good deal on our hotels in the future. So he forwarded me to another department. It was a completely different person talking. And he said, we've got a really good deal for you. If you pay us $200, we are going to give you a 5-night stay anywhere in the country, anywhere you want. And I was, of course, my guard immediately went up and I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not giving you credit card information. I'm not interested. I do not want to get scammed or anything like that. And he said, no, it's not a scam, I assure you. And they sent me an email, and the email seemed like it was coming from a strange server. It was like us.ihg or .tx or something. So it was from a Texas server. I didn't trust them. I hung up on them. I found out probably 5 or 6 hours later that it was actually a legitimate phone call. They were not trying to scam me or phish me, but I had my guard up. And I look back at that situation and I think to myself, I made the right decision. I did the right thing. It would not have been very wise or safe for me to have actually given people my credit card information over the phone. So there are legitimate cases where people will call and it'll be a real telemarketer or something. But in general, you're pretty much always better off just not giving people any information, especially private information or credit card information, over the phone. So the reason why phishing is the most common cybersecurity attack or way to steal your information is because it's so easy. You prey on people's emotions rather than actually having to have any intellectualism. You don't actually have to be a good programmer or a good hacker. It's actually very straightforward to send a fake email, have a fake sort of HTML, CSS web page made to look real. And when people try to log in with their information, of course, it's just stealing all their data and sending it back to their database or server. What most people don't realize is that involuntary hacks, where people actually hack in using code or use SQL injection or whatever to steal your data, is actually extremely rare. It does happen, but I would say probably far less than 1% of all cybersecurity threats are involuntary hacks. Almost always when people hack you, when they steal your data, when they steal your bank information, almost 100% of the time, or very nearly 100% of the time, it's because you gave them that information emotionally, not realizing that they were scamming you. It's usually a case of mistaken identity. So there's 3 major ways that you can protect yourself from all phishing attacks and never have to worry about this. The first and most important is to never click any link that is unsolicited, whether it comes to your text messages or whether it comes to your email. The second thing you can do is make sure that anytime you get a critical email to your inbox, do not click any links in that email. If Outlook sends you an email and they say in the email, you need to click this link to approve your login activity, somebody in Slovenia tried to hack you or whatever, don't click it. Individually go to Google, type in Outlook, go to the official Outlook, sign in there. As a general rule, you should probably just never click anything that comes into your email. The last thing you can do is make sure that every time you log into any website to double and maybe even triple check the header at the top. The URL is sometimes off. Sometimes it'll say like Outlook with 3 O's, or it'll say Outlook with a C that you don't notice in there somewhere, or they'll have some sort of trickery going on. Even results on Google can sometimes be manipulated to where the top result will actually be a fake or fraudulent website. So you still always need to check the URL of where you're logging into, especially if you're putting private data into their login fields, such as your username and password. One of the great dangers of phishing is that somebody actually could have already phished you or your information months ago, in some cases even years ago, and you'll never know about it. They could be stealing your information as we speak, secretly and silently. This is called ghost phishing, and it can be, in some cases, even worse than regular phishing where you find out immediately, because they could be selling your data to other national interests. In fact, the vast majority of phishing attacks are actually foreign governments specifically targeting another nation's citizens. It can, in many cases, be a huge national security risk. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe with bell notifications on for more content coming soon.